Hello, everybody. Dennis Prager here. If it weren't for the terror in Europe, the number one story would be what it was prior to this, and that is the Black Lives Matter movement and the takeover of administration buildings at colleges by black students and white supporters, or non-black supporters, because it includes Hispanics and others as well. And the man clearing his throat in the background is one of my heroes, and I mean that. And he has written a book. It couldn't have come out at a more timely moment. It's titled The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood, by the Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, whom I have known for decades. One of the most honorable and incisive and wise people I have had the joy of knowing. So much so, by the way, this is not just a nice way of introducing somebody, that I took the time out, and it took time. I wrote the foreword to his book. I got no money for it, and I have asked Jesse for money. He is refusing to give me. Hey, he's a little cheap. I mean, other than that, he's really extraordinary. The book, folks, I'm serious. The book, it's so good. It's so gutsy. It's so filled with wisdom about the black condition in America that it's the antidote for all this hate. And there's a lot of hate coming out. Hate, blame, and victimhood. It is exactly it. Jesse, it is as if you knew when the book needed to be published. That is how good the timing is.
I appreciate that, Dennis. Also, without clearing my throat, I didn't realize that I was on
No,
air.
I know that, and that's the reason I made reference for your sake, because, for all I know, you'd have a coughing spell. And I didn't want that to happen. I know. We should warn people. As soon as Dennis starts talking, you're on the air. But
right.
Anyway, you've been on before. You've been on Fox News, of course.
Yes.
And Jesse, the book, it's really the culmination of a life's work and thought. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I have to say, and I know I've heard people say, "Oh, this is from God," and that, and it might be true with them. But I honestly have to tell you, Dennis, that this is the book that I have wanted to write for the last 20 years or so, and it is a gift from God. I was amazed myself when I sat down to start writing this book, the things that I was reminded of, the situations that I had dealt with, and the people who have managed to overcome the anger and the blame and victimhood mentality. And so I'm as blessed by this book as the readers are. And I have to tell you, I've met people already who read the foreword to the book. And again, thank you so much for it. And some people said that they read it 5 times, that they could not stop crying just from reading the foreword to the book. So it was from your heart, and it's hard to find people who write from their heart. And thank you for that again.
Well, folks, let me just say this. I hope my foreword is good, but it pales in comparison to the book. And I'm not known for my modesty, so I just want people to understand the book is phenomenal. Now, let's understand. Let me ask you specifically. There are now blacks at the most elite colleges, from Yale to Occidental to University of Missouri, wherever it might be,
yes.
And they are telling us that their campuses are filled with racism. Now, these liberal bastions of tolerance are filled with racism. Do they believe that? What is going on here?
Well, that's what happens when you give people something for nothing. Most, not all, of course, but most of the blacks are in those universities based on color by way of affirmative action, and they have not earned their way. And whenever you give someone something without earning their way, they don't have an appreciation for it at all. And so they tend to resent you. They secretly resent you for giving them stuff. I've seen it happen with parents, and that they say, well, I'm going to make sure my children have a better life than I had. And what they do is that they give their kids everything, free everything.
And it makes them angry.
Because they have not developed that nature.
All right, we're going to hold on a second there, Jesse. I got to take a break. Dennis Prager here with the great man, Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. You, my listeners, need to hear. Well, I don't know if you don't have for Pragertopia, you couldn't hear it now. We'll just have to replay it one time. I would say that of the hundreds and hundreds of Ultimate Issues hours that I did, none were more important. I would say that there were some that were equally important, but none were more important than the one I did with Jesse Peterson. It was mesmerizing. His analysis of black anger today, it is just, it is, and he had it. I mean, the thing is, he has traveled the path. He had that anger. And now the summation of his life's thinking is in a book, The Antidote. And I tell you, if it would bring me joy beyond words if it made the New York Times bestseller list. And you, my listeners alone, could do that. The Antidote is up at DennisPrager.com, and I wrote the foreword to it because I'm so committed to what he's writing. The victory over victimhood, as it writes in the back. But listen to the subtitle, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. And they're poisons. So I was asking you about these kids. These kids are at elite colleges. They have Olympic-sized swimming pools within walking distance. Right. They are in dormitories that make luxury hotels look like a cheap motel. They are given whatever they want, and then they tell us that they're living in this bastion of racism, the university.
Yep.
Do you know, Jesse, that the University of California has officially declared the following sentence to be a microaggression, a form of racism? If someone says there's only one race, the human race, that is now considered a racist comment.
Of course. There's no end to these people's destruction unless people who are representing good should stop them. As I was saying prior to the break, whenever you give someone something without them earning it, they have no appreciation for whatever it is that you're giving them, and also for the people who are giving it to them. And for an example, most of those kids, if not all, was raised in a home without a father there. And the worst thing that can happen to children, Dennis, the worst thing, male or female, never mind the race, is not to have a father that loves what's right and is an example for them in the home to watch as they're growing up. Because as children, we learn from our fathers, and as adults, we learn from God. And so if you don't have that father to guide you, then you lose your way. You become angry, and once you fall into anger, you live a life of darkness, trying to figure your way out. And these kids have never been taught by their fathers and mothers to earn their way. And so they fall to anger in their homes, but when they go out into the community, they have what I call the alchemists that I write in my book, waiting to seduce them by telling them that it's not their fault, that it's racism, it's someone else. And when you're angry, it's easy to believe the lie. And so people like the civil rights movement, Jesse Jackson, those people, Obama and others, have taken black Americans in that fallen state of anger, lied to them so that they can gain power and wealth. And these black people don't even know that they're being lied to. They don't know that the anger started in the home, and that's where the problem is. They literally believe that it's from white people, and there's nothing white people can do to make them believe that it's not them. The only thing that white Americans are going to have to do is to stop being afraid and stand up to these folks and say no more. And that will force them to start looking at themselves, and then they can wake up by forgiving and get over the problem.
You have a website. The name of the website is, let's see here. You tell me.
Rebuildingtheman.com.
What was that again?
Rebuildingtheman.com.
Yes. So now I want people to know everything that Jesse Jackson believes he puts into practice. He works with young men.
Well, Jesse Peterson, not Jesse.
I'm sorry. Oh God. Oh my God. You know what?
Your sins are forgiven.
No. Only because you're such a good Christian. But the truth is, I don't deserve forgiveness for that. That was the worst slip of my 33-year career, to confuse you and Jesse Jackson. Okay, what am I going to do? It's been done. It's live radio.
That's right.
Jesse Peterson has worked with young men of all colors, I might add, and turned them around. I know these young people. I know his work. So he is put into practice. When you go to him, he doesn't reinforce your anger.
That's right.
And that's what's done here. And dean after dean and college president after college president just fawningly says, oh, yes, we will hire another administrator to make sure that there is no offensive word said and that there are more black faculty. So what are they going to do now to hire more black faculty? I'm very curious to see. So is Yale not have more black faculty because it's composed of racists? Is that the charge?
That's right. But then let me I want to finish one thought about not having a father. In the book, one of the people that we write about is Barack Obama. Since we all know Barack Obama, I'll mention him. Barack Obama grew up without a father, and his mother had so much anger of her own race that when Barack Obama was a kid, she told him that white people were racist, that they hated black folks, and they try to make black people's lives tough, that they were racist. And then Barack Obama's grandmother had a negative encounter with a black man at one point in her life, and it traumatized her, and she often spoke of that incident, but in a way that made all black people look like they were racist or mean to white people.
All right, hold on there. We'll be back in a moment. The book is The Antidote. The man I'm talking to is actually one of my heroes, and I almost never use that term, Jesse Lee Peterson. The book is The Antidote. I've read it. I've written the foreword to it. Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. This book has more wisdom than Yale, Harvard, and UCLA combined. But actually, that's not a compliment. And I don't mean to be cute. I'm not being cute. I actually mean that. There's so little wisdom on our campuses. Jesse, give us a final thought here because, radio time goes so fast.
Yeah. The final thought, and I can make it with Barack Obama in our writing, Barack Obama did not have his father with him. His father spoke of white people being racist in America and Africa. The point is, Barack Obama has been spoiled all his life. He's never been made to earn his way. And the proof is in the pudding. Look how he's running our country right now. And it's because he's fallen away from what is right. He has this anger in his heart, and he's guided by the darkness. And he's spoiled, so he doesn't have the same appreciation for the country that you and I and other Americans have. So he is trying to destroy the country rather than make it better. And that's what's going on with Black Lives Matters and others. If we don't return these children, say no to them because they're spoiled, and return them to their fathers, then things are going to get worse instead of getting better because they are out of control and they don't understand what's controlling them. It's a spiritual battle.
It certainly is, and your insights into the anger issue and this unearned issue, these are huge. The book is The Antidote. Jesse Lee Peterson. It's up at my website. Good luck, my friend. You are a special man.
Thank you, Dennis, and so are you, and I appreciate you to the utmost.
Thank you. I know that, and I appreciate it. We'll just amend one word there. I would have said the sentence slightly differently. Instead of trying to prove America, he's trying to destroy it. I would say what he does is, whether he wants to improve it or not, he is damaging America terribly. That's the only slight amendation that I would offer here for the record. But his analysis of the president's background is part of his acute understanding of what is happening. Frankly, people's intentions, as I keep telling you, the older I get, the less I find intentions matter. Behavior is everything. Behavior is everything. In marriage, in raising children, in being President of the United States. I'm Dennis Prager. We continue.